The gray area. The gray area. The gray area.
Hello, all you happy people. Welcome once again to another episode of the Gray Area Podcast. I am your host, yet again, WhiskerBiscuit, aka Fat Ass. That's right, in a good way, not a bad way. My guest today is the lovely, vivacious, and talented Phoenix of the infamous, world-famous, top of the food chain PhoenixTV. Say hi.
Hello. And we are world famous. We've been seen in all but like 2 countries.
Excellent. Well, we'll take what we can get.
Well, North Korea doesn't allow it, so.
Well, it is what it is. They'll get there. It's baby steps in this old world.
Agreed.
You understand? Baby steps. So, this podcast, we're just kind of shooting from the hip today. Just wanted to sling some shit. Didn't really have anything planned out or whatnot. So how you been? What you been up to?
Been good. Been recording like every other day that I have off.
Sweet. I've been doing a lot of writing for a couple other projects, as some of us know about. Hopefully more of us will know about soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you haven't had a chance, I really appreciate it. I'd be forever in your debt if you'd go check out my series, The Story of. My cohort here, Phoenix, he takes, I guess it's random pictures. I don't know. They just show up on my little handheld magic box, and I just write a story about it. I don't know where the fuck it comes from, really.
Well, I feel like I should just tell you the whole story of how that series came about.
Okay, just tell me.
I feel like, I know you've heard it, but it always makes for an interesting little thing. So, a long time ago, when I first got Grand Theft Auto, I thought to myself, I have a couple ideas for short little skits that I could put together. And so, naturally, I tried to make a series out of it. The problem with that is I don't have 52 ideas a week, or every year for that kind of thing, so weekly wasn't going to work. So I thought, well, I need something to give me a week-long gap in between. So I thought, well, this is a big world with a lot of things in it. What if I record it and send someone else the picture and let them just go with whatever they think it is, and we'll call it the story of whatever it is? And so that started out with Slender Dan. But he's been unreasonably busy all summer with whatever busyness he prefers to be busy with at the time. Yeah. And so I said, well, WhiskerBiscuit's pretty good. Let's send it to him.
Thank you for trying.
So he's turned the unofficial Season 2 into one of my favorite shows to make.
Oh, you're one of my favorite shows to make.
I'm not kidding. While I was waiting to record with B2 Rad this afternoon, I sat down and found 20 more episodes that you could commentate over. And there's already a backlog of like 15 that you could mess with at whatever speed and rate you prefer.
Ah, excellent.
There are a few shows that I do in my downtime. That is one of them.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you throwing this old dog that very good bone. I've enjoyed it. What did I tell you yesterday? Artistic yoga?
Yes.
It is for me. It's artistic yoga. I get to put on the little stretchy pants in my mind, make this fat ass look like a Kardashian, and I just stretch.
Well, careful with it. You might break the internet.
I could break the internet. You're right. Yes, I very well could break the internet. Now, what's up with this Bacon Fantasy T-shirt you got on? Is that's from the
The Simpsons.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
I have got a limited run Bacon Fantasy shirt of Spider-Pig from some nerd t-shirt maker online that doesn't sponsor us. Just kidding. It's tfury.com. Problem is you probably won't be able to get it because last I checked, they only sold the shirts for 1 day. So by the time that I got it, it was like 2 weeks out of availability.
I'm going to have to get turned on to that. What is that? T-shirtfury.com? Is that what it is?
T-E-F-U-R-Y.
Oh, T-E-E Fury.
Yep.
Okay.
I think they do more backlogs now, but yeah. I'm a big fan of theirs. .com.
.com. Very good. That sucks, though, that you can only get it for a day.
Well, I think they're starting to do more backlogs. They just up the price a little bit for those. So, like, the day of shirt is like $11, and then days after it's like $15 or $16.
That's bullshit. That means a 2-day-old shirt is called vintage by their account.
Well, the idea was that it'd be a new shirt every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to check back every day and be like, oh, it's a Spider-Pig shirt. I have to have it.
That's right.
A number of my better nerd shirts come from there.
Very good.
And one of the other things they do is they like to get artists who aren't with any other company or whatever. Just like, here, showcase your design.
Unaffiliated motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the best kind of motherfuckers. Mother. Excuse me. Motherfuckers.
Those are the ones who make the Spider-Pig shirts.
Yes. Folks, you're going to have to excuse me. I just took like a dozen NyQuil. I got to get to bed early tonight, and I could very well pass out on this keyboard.
Well, I'm the one recording, so if you do pass out, I can turn off the recording.
Oh, very good. You see how the way my brain works. I'm all fairy dust and sunshine and roller skates and fucking slipping on banana peels, but somebody's actually minding the goddamn store here.
That's my job.
Yes.
That's why this show is edited by Phoenix of PhoenixTV.
That's right, it is. Damn right it is. Edited by Phoenix of PhoenixTV. God help me, he's a pretty man.
You're so generous.
Well, I gotta be something.
What I'm most concerned about is that I very, very much expect for me to do an editor's note on myself.
Why is that?
Because that just means that I said something wrong and then I have to correct myself in the video.
No. It's funny. I got up this morning and I was tired. And then, I don't know, I'm sure many of you can relate to this. I drove to work and I was tired. I spent my whole day working, tired. But the further I got away from work, the more not tired I became. You know, I have a physical job, so I was physically tired, but I don't know, I started to ramp up the further away from work I got. And I don't understand why that is. The only theory I have is that's similar to a knockout. Like you get hit in the fucking head and you get knocked out. That's your brain saying, we don't want to do this shit, so we're going to put your ass to sleep. That's the only thing I can figure. So the stuff that I'm doing, I'm really not supposed to be doing. And maybe it's not healthy for me.
Generally, not doing what you're supposed to be doing is not good for you.
Good call. Good call.
Says me who spends his actual job on YouTube and his fake job on YouTube. Did you ever watch BattleBots?
That one, the one with the fucking slingy thing, it flew around and hit the other thing with the thing. Yeah, watch that.
Did you know they started a new season?
No.
Like
all I know is that you got things on wheels that hit other things on wheels with things that spin or stab or whir around, and Kenny Florian commentates it. That's all I know.
Yeah. As a nerd, much as myself, and as nerds are wont to do, I was pleased to hear that they were bringing that series back.
Ah, good.
And so they have, and it has been so far really awesome.
Excellent.
Especially as I didn't get to watch much of it in its original run, as I was not old enough.
I don't recall it. I got 10 years on you, and I really don't recall it.
Yeah, but around that time, you'd have been doing other things that didn't involve much television.
Masturbation. No, that involves television. Sometimes. I don't know. It was harder to do back then. It's much more readily available. The technology of porn today has grown exponentially. It's just wonderful. It's blossomed into this beautiful, perverted butterfly.
Well, you should save that for a conversation with your nephew.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure that would be interesting.
I'm so proud of him. Hey, say what you want to, but I think he's the most successful person in our family that's still alive, at any rate.
That sounds about right, actually. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm just saying that it's not your usual job title.
Look, I know, and that's what's beautiful about it. People have been all my life. Everybody talks about their job and how uninteresting it is. Even some people, even if it is interesting, what do you do? I'm a district for a pho, or I take this pho and put it in this pho 10,000 times a day or whatever. But I don't know, man. With the technology these days, things are just they're more innovative ways to make money now than ever before, and it's pretty badass.
Such as making a podcast and putting it on YouTube.
I know, right?
On a side note, I brought up the BattleBots thing, not because it's a show, and not because I wanted to talk specifically about that, but there was a side point that I had in my brain place about that. The other day when I was waiting to have another one come up, I'm like, it has the recommended shows for you based on what you already watched, that type thing.
Yeah.
And one of them that came up was a show that I'd forgot was coming to America. It's called Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Fool Us.
And the premise of the show is, you know who Penn and Teller is.
Absolutely.
Top flight magicians.
The sassy magicians.
Right.
I don't know if they're fucking sassy. I just wanted to use the word sassy, okay?
Top flight magicians, anyway.
I've never seen them fly, but go ahead.
The premise of the show, and this is something they've done in England, or at least foreign, because I've seen some YouTube versions of it, but the premise of the show is they find the best magicians they can find and bring them up on the stage, and they have to perform their best single trick, single little act part, and try and see if Penn and Teller know how they did it. And if Penn and Teller don't know how they did it, they get a spot on their Vegas show. I don't know how much it is or any of that thing. But more the idea of, this is a show of magicians trying their best stuff back to back to back.
Wow.
And it's not one person, it's like 4 or 5 different magicians every episode, so you get 4 or 5 different versions of the same thing with, well, not same things, but they'll change it up, and it's pretty darn cool, I think.
Is it like America's Got Talent, where it seems those I put in the same category as reality TV, which to me is like I don't know, advanced stages of syphilis or something. It's just horrible.
You could make comparisons between the two, but it's not one person gets a spot. It's do your best act. Did you fool them? Yes? No? All right, cool. Next guy. There's no like one person's going to win. It's did that particular trick fool them? Oh, it did? Congratulations. You get whatever the award is.
Oh.
The award isn't the big thing as much as it's just, here's a bunch of magicians doing their best stuff for an hour. And if you're into magic stuff, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I dig magic, I guess. I don't know shit about it, but it's entertaining. Pull a fucking rabbit out of the hat or what have you.
It's pretty impressive, some of the stuff these guys do.
Yeah. Ken Gillette is intellectual as well. I've listened to some of his stuff. And the show Bullshit, I saw a little bit of that, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. You showed me a little bit of that, and it was pretty interesting, too.
Yes. Yes, I believe I did.
One of the biggest...
Also... And go.
One of the biggest takeaways I got from that show was secondhand smoke causing cancer is complete garbage.
Was that in that series?
It might have been in a later season. But they didn't multiple seasons of it. But yeah, apparently they debunked secondhand smoke being cancerous. It's unpleasant, but not directly cancerous.
It's not a carcinogen. Secondhand smoke is not a carcinogen.
That is what the show on, that is what one of their episodes proposes and proceeds to back up.
Well, I mean, I could see that being the case, but and a lot of people don't put that out there.
I thought that was an interesting little episode.
That's a beautiful little fun fact for you.
I haven't done any of the research to know whether or not it's true, but based on their findings, I can't say anything other than, well, it's really unpleasant to be around.
Well, that's a huge claim. That show came on Showtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge fucking claim to make on a very, I don't know if you can say well-respected, but well-renowned television station. So,
mm-hmm.
so I'd have to assume there's some science to back that up.
If I recall, and this is where I'm going to put in my own editor's note, I'm sure, there was a study in the early 80s or 90s where basically they set up the statistics to make it look like secondhand smoke was carcinogenic, and everything after that tries to, they argue that claim based on that one study, which has been shown to be not true.
So they came up with something, and they've spent their entire time just trying to cover up the truth, pretty much.
More or less.
Well, maybe not. I won't say something as malicious as cover up the truth, but they've
been reading the wrong
obviously book. There's no benefit to breathing secondhand smoke. I mean, it's obviously not gonna, it's not gonna save the whales or any shit like that.
It'd be amazing if it did.
How can I word this in a kinder, gentler way? They just omit the truth. Refuse to see it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
Confirmation bias, maybe?
I don't know. I wish you'd speak English, though. I don't know how to respond to that.
Confirmation bias being they see that study and they're like, well, see, I'm right. And I have a study to prove it. That type thing. Without actually seeing that it's since been debunked and apparently not true.
There was some sites that on JRE, the Joe Rogan Experience, one of my all-time favorite podcasts to listen to. He turned me on to, there was some scientist that works for whoever it is that makes Roundup. And this scientist came on, was on some interview of some sort. And he said, oh yeah, this stuff is, it's safe to drink, because there have been claims made that this stuff is fucking people up, making assholes grow on top of their heads. I don't know. Something weird's happening with it.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so the scientist said, you can drink a whole XYZ amount of this and be perfectly fine. Well, so the guy called him on his website, said, so you'll drink it? Said, it's safe to drink? He said, yes. He said, oh, well, we have some right here. The scientist said, you're a complete jerk. This interview's over.
Don't you love it when they do stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful.
One of the nice things about the Last Week Tonight show by John Oliver is they'll report on something, and then every once in a while they'll really follow through on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them, whenever they were doing, coincidentally back to smoking, but they were talking about how big cigarette companies will like sue entire countries to try and get bills to not go a certain way.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt.
And so they talk about they created a mascot to try and demonstrate to kids and whatever in those places how bad cigarette smoke is for at least the actual smoker, as discussed earlier. And they're like, oh no, we didn't just make this mascot. Then it cuts to footage of kids in those areas wearing shirts with that mascot and billboards they put up around the world of this mascot and various other plain packaging stuff with like the effects of smoking.
Well, I'm just guessing, but fuck, they're beginning to lose their ass over here with the amount of people quitting, with the advent of the e-cigarette, and just the fuck, you can smoke a rocket ship now. It's amazing. I know people who do it just with zero nicotine in it. Never have been smokers, never will be smokers, just because they can smoke an R2-D2 doll or whatever the fuck. They can smoke a hand grenade. And it's the studies so far. We learn new shit every day. Remember, we used to think that the fucking world was flat. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so tomorrow I might have to eat my words, but for now they're saying this is basically not harmful to vaping.
I can't imagine how it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole premise is that you go from nicotine and 1,000 other things to nicotine and flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, flavor isn't always the safest thing, but
oh no,
it's a lot harder to sell me on the dangers of flavor as compared to the dangers of tar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can overdose on almost anything,
including water.
Yes, exactly. You can overdose on fucking milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and speaking for myself, I smoked for years. I've done every tobacco product there is at one point in time in my life or the other. I've smoked cigarettes. I've smoked cigars. Not that much, but I've been known to smoke a cigar every now and again on special occasion or when offered. I've dipped. I've done snuff. That if you want to wake up really quick and you're not used to it, just take a little bump of snuff up each nostril. You may jump through the ceiling. but anyway, I smoked for years. I have a massive oral fixation. Probably, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should look more into that on the psychology end of things. But anyway, yeah, smoked for years. And I remember how that made me feel and the way my body reacted to it. And for I don't know, I think it was maybe 2 years that I vaped for. There was no contest that I felt better vaping than I did when I was smoking. Not only that, but you can get stupid with anything. They got cigars out there that cost, I don't fuck, $20 a pop. Or I'm sure there's more that cost more than that out there.
Sure.
You buy a lightsaber vape and you vape every time you have in your entire waking life. Of course, it's going to cost money, but just comparing cigarettes to vaping on a basic level, the price comparison, it was drastically reduced as vaping as it applied to smoking. So, for all three of you listening out there, if you happen to be a smoker and you haven't tried the electronic cigarettes yet, let me just say, give it a shot.
And for the record, as a never smoker, I much prefer to be around people who vape as compared to actual smoking.
Yeah.
Because on the rare occasions where I've had smoke blown in my face, it was really unpleasant. Vapor in the face is like, I wish you wouldn't have done that, but at least it doesn't smell like cancer.
Well, there are people out there walking around. You'll be sitting there vaping, just oblivious to other people, and people walk by and like, my God, that smells good. Oh, it smells like grapes. It smells like vagina. It smells like fucking Jesus Christ. I don't know. They got every flavor out there. You can get some that smells like anything, that tastes like anything. If you're not satisfied, you can even go even more cheaper and get super creative and make your own.
Yeah.
For all you nerds out there, if any of you are amateur chemist or whatever, it's not that expensive to make your own e-liquid, and you can, I don't know, it's like, depending on the shit that you're buying and how you're making it, it's like 30 cents for I don't remember, it's been so long. It's like, it works out to somewhere between 30 to 50 cents for a 30 milliliter bottle. Doesn't sound like much, but that goes pretty far. If again, unless you're a hardcore user, man.
They have flavors for everything.
Yes, they do. There are food flavors, pizza flavored, fucking pizza flavored. I never in life thought about smoking a pizza. But it's out there.
That strikes me as a little surprising that you've never considered smoking a pizza.
Well, I mean, you got me thinking about it now. I mean, I'll try anything once. Fuck, I only live once.
Maybe in a future episode.
Ah, indeed. So, Phoenix, in other news, what do you got going on your channel? What's coming out?
Let's see. Let me think ahead. This is probably going to release around that time. So I'm going to guess that GeoGuessr is probably going to be out by then. I did a Let's Try in it. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that game. We tried to film something with it, but the internet was not cooperating at all.
Yeah, I'm like garlic to the internet, I think.
Yeah, that happens. But it's all
the
right.
Internet sees me and says, "Go fuck yourself."
It's all right. I did a Let's Try in it, and my English friend B2Rad decided that he thought it was pretty cool, and I said, "Well, let's try it out together." So we played a couple rounds.
So explain to people what exactly GeoGuessr is, in case they haven't heard of it.
Okay, so this game is basically you get plopped down somewhere on Google Street View, and it's your job to figure out where you are within a certain amount of time, as close as you can get.
Yes, it's damn near impossible. Unless you're smart. Phoenix can do this type of shit because he's smart. Me, I'm like, okay, where am I? And then my brain starts going off into the ether somewhere, and I start saying, hey, there's fingernail polish on the table. It's sitting right next to the brush. That sure is a crazy-looking brush. It's got bright, vibrant colors. I don't really have hair on top of my head, but if I did, that would be the brush. Oh, shit, I'm in the middle of a game.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Our warm-up round was very interesting. Because he'd never played it before. Our warm-up round was the famous places category.
Oh, yeah.
And me being a traveler, the famous places were like Versailles, the famous fountain in Rome, someplace in New York City. something in Berlin, Germany, and what was that other thing? I don't know. It was something else that I just knew. So it was quite unfair being like, where is this? Like, oh yeah, I've been to Versailles. So Versailles, click. And it was really bad whenever he put Versailles. He thought it was like the Vatican, which is in Italy. So I got like 6 points off a perfect score in our tryout round.
Now I know a little about the Treaty of Versailles, but geographically, I don't actually know where Versailles is.
France.
France. Okay, you probably said that, and I didn't even pay any attention. I was thinking about this fucking brush over here again.
I don't know that I did, but
I'm gonna have to put the brush behind the computer because it's very distracting.
I don't know that I said it was in France, but Versailles, that particular Versailles is in France. I didn't know where, but I had, X amount of time to figure it out. So.
Very good. So that's GeoGuessr. What else you got? You got any bird brains coming out?
Bird's brain is still going, more than likely, unless this particular thing comes out like 14 weeks from now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've recorded episode 35 as of today, and there's 50 total episodes in the You Don't Know Jack set of those.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to follow it, or if anything will, but we're 15 episodes of You Don't Know Jack out from being done.
Yeah, so you've got a plethora of a backlog, I should say. Not a black log. I got dick on the brain again. Of backlog for the folks to check out.
Yeah, there's 33 episodes are out by the recording of this, and this will come out a couple weeks from now. So, yeah, that will probably be near 40 by then.
And the cat that does the vocals on the game, what's his name?
He goes by Cookie Masterson, but I'm pretty sure that's not his name.
Well, that should be his fucking name because that's epic.
Yeah.
Everybody should be so lucky to have such a name. That guy does a wonderful job on those games. I find it's a lot of games out there. To me, if you're not playing, they're no fun. This game is equally fun to watch because the way they got it set up and the crazy shit that flashes across the screen is hilarious, or would be very nice in a like an acid trip or something. So
yeah, that show does a great job of carrying me.
Yes, as it would anybody. So what else you got? You juggle like 30 different things.
You're telling
I'm
me.
over exaggerating.
You're telling me. One more thing before we get too far off if You Don't Know Jack. The guy who's in charge of that company, his name is Mike Builder.
Mm-hmm.
And he had...
Related to Bob?
I doubt it, because it's spelled without the U.
Oh, God, why do I say shitty jokes like that? That's fucking hack comedy, folks. Don't let me get away with that.
But you see, the funny part is I've already thought that joke multiple times. I just don't ever have a platform to make said really odd jokes.
Well, you got to have a brain like mine that just can't focus on anything, and it just comes out. It rolls out like fucking diarrhea. It just splatters out and makes a mess everywhere, and then I have to clean it up. Or I just say I'm sorry and curtsy and run away.
But to my point, the guy behind it is a guy named Mike Builder, and he's one of the few people who have ever retweeted anything I've ever put out. So the maker behind You Don't Know Jack and Drawful has actually retweeted some of my videos, which I think is pretty cool. The fact that he's not only on Twitter and active enough to where he'd see something like that, but that he would do something minuscule to him but quite helpful to small Let's Player such as us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So I give the guy credit on that point just alone.
Yeah. Good stuff. He's a sweetie. He's a big sweetie.
And he keeps paying Cookie Masterson.
That's right.
As he should. That guy has been fantastic since I first came across a You Don't Know Jack game in the mid-90s.
Absolutely.
Now to your next point about all the random stuff that I have to juggle. I should have vamped for longer, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, again, what else you got going on?
I do Minecraft every week.
Yeah. I can't. I don't have intelligent thoughts about Minecraft. I don't know. Now, I don't want to try to pass myself off. I'm a nerd in my own special way. I'm just not a Minecraft nerd, okay?
Oh, you're not going to offend me, I'm aware. To everyone else, of course.
Yes. I can't have an intelligent conversation about Minecraft. I just see lots of little boxes. That's all I see.
I understand.
Well, it's little. The first time I saw Minecraft was like, when the fuck did the Atari get color besides green and black? How did this happen? We've digressed to an unbelievable point. Yeah. I didn't see it, and people were raving about it. You got to check out this game I saw, and I said, holy fucking shit, we're back to boxes again.
Yeah, the graphics aren't much to say for.
But it's like we were talking about the other day. It's got to be top 10, one of the biggest of all times as far as video games.
It is the #1 most watched game on YouTube by a wide margin.
Wow!
By a wide margin.
That's saying something.
I mean, it's beating out Grand Theft Auto 5 by a lot. And again, that's the Grand Theft Auto 5.
The Grand Theft Auto 5?
It's no game to scoff at. I mean, if you're talking about depth of game and gameplay and how big Grand Theft Auto 4 was on its own and the rest of the Grand Theft Auto series, the fact that it's got Grand Theft Auto 5 beat by that much is surprising.
Somewhere in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I'm not doing that show that you're not a huge fan of, can't blame you. You can't like everything on there. We're doing Town of Salem.
Yes, we are. Let me back up. That's got nothing to do with you or the job you're doing. I just can't get down with that fucking game.
I'm aware.
I just can't get down with it. But yeah, anyway, I'm over it. Town of Salem. Again, something else for me to get lost in. I said there, what? Who am I? What's my role? What the fuck does a sheriff do again? Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to say I'm the sheriff. God damn it. Alright, I want to type something in the box. Fuck, it's nighttime. I can't type. Or I'm the fucking mafia and I want to type. I want to talk to my cohorts in the mafia. I go to type something. Shit, it's daytime again.
So for those of you who are confused, WhiskerBiscuit will gladly explain Town of Salem to you.
Fuck! I don't know how. I like it. It's fun. I just know you don't have enough time to have a conversation and do a lot of shit and try to be tactical in a game. It's like a whodunit game. Like, who is the fucking butler done it type of shit. Only there's no butlers. It's, it looks like Lego meets Salem, Massachusetts back in the puritanical days.
Yeah.
Explain the gameplay because I can't. Again, I'm looking at the brush over here again.
The big thing about it is that there's multiple different roles for each player, and some of them like conflict with each other. So there's one group trying to kill everybody, and then there's one person trying to kill everyone else, including that one group. There's someone who wants to get somebody hanged by a popular vote, So they have to
And
make
a
up
mother.
whatever evidence they can come up with to try and get people to hang them. And then there's somebody who wants himself to get hanged.
Yes. There's a suicidal motherfucker running amok in this motherfucker.
It's a game where 16 people have a bunch of different ways to win, and part of them conflict with each other.
Yes.
And it's very, very tactical, very strategic, very, very complicated, and occasionally frustrating.
It's fun. It is a lot of fun to play. I recommend it for anybody.
And
free, yes.
Free is good.
Yeah. Hard as fuck to beat free.
Speaking of which, GeoGuessr is also free, but that's from like 3 podcasts ago at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, what else do I do? Jeez. I plan 8 billion ideas, and then they never get past the brainstorming stage.
Yeah, I think we all do that to some rate, though. Everybody has grandiose plans and hopes and dreams and aspirations, and it's always tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow.
Speaking of which, that should absolutely be an episode for a future podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where at the beginning you come up with a product, discuss it for an hour, and then drop it at the end of that episode.
Yeah. Well, that's some of these are, I think. Like the suicide podcast, and I have ideas for things like that. There's no shortage of thoughts and ideas and shit like that to debate and discuss. And I want to get to all that, but I also don't want to skip out on trying to promote the other shit that we got going on, and just to sit here and shoot the shit with wonderful people like my baby brother Phoenix over here.
I'm not that wonderful.
Shut the fuck up.
Wouldn't be much of a podcast if I did, though.
I know. Well, that's it. I've had it. I surrender. That's it. That's all for today, folks. What do you? Till next time. Be pleasant. Have a pleasant day. Tell them bye, Phoenix.
Bye-bye.
Tell them bye!
I did. I said bye-bye.
And then I walked all over you. Well, fuck it. Goodbye.
Oh. This isn't how I planned it. This is not how I wanted this to go.